Hey guys, welcome back to Don't Forget the Art. I am so excited that you are here. I am so excited for this upcoming week. I know my kids are too. They love this time of the year. Of course, we really haven't gotten much fall here yet in Florida, but that's okay. Um, they're still super excited for Halloween coming up this upcoming week. I know everybody doesn't celebrate Halloween, and that's totally cool. We do here, and I would recommend that you do some kind of a fall or Halloween um, celebration project. After last week of really having some amazing art therapy with the painting, I haven't done much painting lately. Everything has been mostly pencils, ink, and colored pencils. And so last week when I did the Bob Ross tutorial, that was just a lot of fun and very therapeutic. So I thought I would do another fun painting party. I am going to post two videos for this one. One will be, the fast forwarded version of what I did. And the second one will be, and that will be through the website, don'tforgettheart.com, that you can grab the link for that. It'll be the full length step-by-step video for my kitty cat Halloween picture. So this was my inspiration when I was kind of looking around trying to figure out what to do. I saw this cute little pumpkin cat and ghost, kind of three favorites from Halloween, and I thought, oh, how cute is that? And so I started playing around, sketching yesterday morning while everybody was still sleeping. The house was so quiet, and I came up with something like this. I just wanted to add a little bit more color than the other painting had. So this was my sketch in my sketchbook that I threw together. And it's not uncommon for me to do that if you have followed along, just to kind of give me an idea of where things are going before I really start pulling out the paintbrushes. So I can post this on the website if this is what you are looking for as well, some kind of an idea of what to do. Otherwise, these are very simple, basic, drawing, sketching things, and my painting really did not follow this at all, as you will see. So if you are going to follow along with my painting, there are a few things that you will need or that I recommend. So I used this. It is a 12 by 16 canvas panel. I usually get them from Hobby Lobby. Watch for the stuff to go on sale, 50% off. It's real cheap. Otherwise, use what you have around the house. I am using acrylics here, so that's, I would recommend stretch canvas or canvas panel or something like that, or panel, something that's going to hold this. I did put an extra layer or two of gesso on it. These do come pre-gessoed. You are okay without it, but if you want to make sure everything sticks and lasts, go for it and put the gesso on it. I also used some watercolor pencils. That way you can sketch out what you want. The watercolor will just kind of blend right into the painting, no big deal. Then I have a few different types of brushes. I'm pretty sure this is about all that I used. But, for the most part, if you guys have followed along, it varies in sizes. You could definitely go bigger. I tend to paint smaller with smaller brushes, but so something, this is just a, what is it? It's a number 6 flat. I've got a number 6 filbert. I've got a number 8 round, and I've got a 20/0 liner. Let's see. Then for the paints, oh, and you need water and a water cup. You'll also want some paper towels because, as you'll hear in the video, if you're watching the whole full length thing, I didn't grab my paper towel, so I was without that. So you'll want that. Okay, so colors that I'm using. I have Mars Black and Titanium White. I used natural gray. Now again, you do not have to have the gray. Mix some black and white together and you will be all set. I did this for ease because it was a fast painting. I also have raw umber, burnt sienna, and raw sienna. Now, you do not need all of these colors of brown, okay? I would recommend, something darker and lighter, but if you don't have that, mix in some yellow with it, okay? That'll help you to get those awesome colors. I also did use cadmium yellow, and orange. Okay, if you don't have orange, you can mix yellow and red to get orange. Be careful with the oranges; those tend to be pretty strong. Okay, not sure why. Yellow is not, so just be careful when you're using it. A little goes a long way with the orange. I am using Dioxazine purple. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then I have a few different shades of green. Again, I have a problem and I have too many paints. I am a sucker for different shades of paint, so pay me no attention. However, as you can make your own shades of green. So just, you can even use blue with yellow and get your own green. But if you have one green, you can certainly play around and start playing, doing that. I have a really light pink with this one for the little. I mean, it's literally one dot for the kitty cat's nose. Okay, so if don't have that, you can make your own. My kitty is making a sneak appearance. And then I used ultramarine blue. I used ultramarine blue because ultramarine blue tends to be on the red side, on the warm side. And when you mix it with white, it will kind of go towards the purple side, if that makes any sense. And so since I knew I wanted to go purple and I really wanted to have the complementary colors here, I thought that these would really look nice together in the painting. Okay. Now, as you see, I do not have all one brand. Everything is kind of mixed matched and everything else. So don't let that be, something that's going to stop you. Use what you have. And I think, again, besides the paper towels, this is pretty much what you'll need in order to get started. You'll want to sketch out what your plans are for your painting first, and again, with the watercolor pencils, and then have fun and start going for it. I am going to show you the fast forward version of the painting now, and I will see you on the other side with my finished product. Hey everyone, so as I mentioned, this is my inspiration for my project. That was my sketch that I had originally done, and I had already kind of pre-set up and sketched out my painting. I went ahead and started in with the sky first. Now, as you saw, I did the moon in blue, knowing that I was going to be putting in that, excuse me, ultramarine blue, kind of going from the light out to the dark purple all the way on the outside. So that was my thinking there. I like and dislike the way that the moon turned out. Originally I played around with it some more. But, I mean, to each his own. It's just whatever works best for you, whichever you feel. Now, I know you're going to say, Chris, you just sketched all of that out, and now you're going right over it with this blue going into the purple. That doesn't make any sense. So for me, when I do my backgrounds, I like them to kind of have that full unified look, because when you look at a sky out in real life, and there's trees or mountains or something like that, in front of it, the sky and the clouds, everything still looks like it's flowing as one. So if you've watched me do some of my tutorials before, when I do the background with painting, I usually paint in layers, and I usually do my entire sky all the way through, and then go over and paint over it. I know it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me. But I prefer the way the full sky looks when it is finished all the way through. I also took my horizon line down a little bit farther than I probably, thought that I needed to. It's one thing that I am learning and trying to tell myself. because I say, oh, okay, it should be here, and then I realize it should have been a little bit farther down. Now, I am now going over my outlines and kind of putting things back in using raw umber. My liner and raw umber. This is a trick that I learned from another artist friend who, suggested that I do this because it's one of those things where the paint will go over the raw umber, but you can still see it through. And I love the way that that works for me. Again, everybody has, whatever works for you, do what works for you, but this is what I have found really works for me. So even though now that I'm going over the um, ground and I'm actually covering some of that uh, uh, raw umber with the green, I am able to, see through there. But you really can't see through there if you're not looking for it, if that makes any sense. So in other words, if there's still some lines, the viewer isn't going to see it later on because you're going to go over those lines. When I put in the cat, I put in the pumpkin, it just helps to kind of keep those lines so I don't lose where I want things to be. You don't have to do that. Again, you can certainly just use the watercolors pencils and that will completely work. I am now going to go in and put in the black for my kitty cat. I am going to mix gray and black with that. I did take, steps in through here to kind of make sure things were dry. You guys know I'm really great at sticking my hands and fingers and whatnot in the paint. So I did take a few minutes to do some of that stuff and whatnot. So that's what I did. Now you're noticing where my gray is. The gray is on the side for the most part where the kitty cat is. He is obviously going to be illuminated by the light from the moon, so the shadow would be on the side that is farthest away. The highlights are going to be on the side closest to the moon. Those are things that you want to think about as an artist because those are the things that are going to help to bring realism, depth, and whatnot into your painting. Now, this is certainly not a realistic painting, as you can see. However, it's something that is going to help the viewer even with a cartoon-esque style like we're doing right now, kind of one of those easy step-by-step, paint party style painting type things. A painting like this is going to certainly, the highlights and the shadows in the right places are going to help the viewer believe what they're seeing even from a cartoon style than it will when you would, not have that there. I put some kind of ratty, fur kind of sticking off on the side, trying to make this, poor guy look, I don't know, like a little scaredy cat or just kind of an older cat, I guess. I don't know. I just thought it would help to add to his little cuteness, his little personality. He looks like he's um, got some fright in him hanging out at the pumpkin patch or something like that. Using the raw umber on the stem for the pumpkin, mixing that with the raw sienna and burnt sienna, just trying to give it some depth. Adding green shades, starting dark and going light. I know that doesn't make any sense. It is one thing that I am trying to work on for adding shadows and highlights and things like that with the painting, because the light can blend in with the dark. It's just fun to play around. I don't know what else to say. And that's one thing that I think I have been really focusing on this year is just trying different things and playing around and having fun while I've been doing it. Whether it's with paints, colored pencils, inks, and different things. And even with acrylics, like I said, going dark and layering the light on top of it. I have found, I don't know why, but I found some enjoyment in doing that. Probably because everything that you've heard since you're a little kid is to start light and go to dark. But it's, I guess just having fun and breaking rules and see what happens, when you do it. Okay, so on to the pumpkin. Doing the same thing, I'm using that cadmium yellow medium along with the orange. Again, watch the orange. A little bit goes a long way with that stuff, especially this orange and other oranges that I have found too. I don't know why. It is just such a um, strong color when you mix it around. So just be careful with that. And also blending in some of the raw umber with that to get those dark lines in between the different segments, the little bumps on the pumpkin that kind of happen naturally. So that was my thinking with that, was to just kind of play around with it and blend some colors together and just see what happens. And I really do like the way that it turned out. Now, I probably could have made this pumpkin look a little bit more three-dimensional by adding some of the pulp in with his eyes. I didn't. I had thought about it, and then I just really liked the way that he looked, and so I left it. But you can certainly do that. You know that when you look at a pumpkin, you would see some of the rind part of the pumpkin where it's been hollowed out. When you look in, you'd see that kind of half an inch or whatever it is thick. That some of that would be there. I did not put that in with my pumpkin, and you certainly could do that. Finished up my pumpkin, added a few more highlights on the stem, and now I'm just blacking in the eyes. Again, you could certainly have your pumpkin glowing, so you could have the candlelight yellow or something glowing through. Because I've got that black kitty, I thought that the black would just look fine. But you could certainly do, what you would like with it. And I put in a fun grinny grin on it with, some of that kind of teethy look to it. I don't know if he looks creepy or like he's, fun. I think he looks very cute. But that was what I did. Now I did this all with liner. My black paint was starting to thicken up a little bit. If I was to go back and do it again, that thick part of his mouth, I might use a different brush, but I wanted it to kind of have that jagged look to it, so it didn't turn out too bad. At this point, I just went in with some more highlights on the kitty to kind of help that stand out. You can see how I'm using my liner brush with the straight natural gray and using my finger to kind of blend it out a little bit. I do that. I know some other artists do that too. It's just something that I do. But you can certainly blend it out with your paintbrush as well. I mixed for his eyes, I mixed that cadmium yellow medium with some titanium white. Yellow is not a very thick color. It's pretty translucent. So when you're trying to cover the black, you really need the titanium white to help to give you an opaque look. Using just a touch of the white is not going to change too much of your the color of the yellow, but it will help that yellow to cover the black underneath it because, obviously that's a very strong color and difficult to go over. After that, I filled in some more of the eyes where I saw some of the white spots popping through on my pumpkin. I highlighted some of that leaf on the pumpkin as well. And I went ahead and put the moon in a little bit there. And then I kind of fixed the face a little bit. Add my dab of pink there on his nose. And that was it. Now this was where I was kind of planning if I was going to do the the ghost or not, but I think I decided at this point I wasn't going to. I signed it. Technically, he's not done, but I really do like the way that it turned out. And here is my finished product, everyone. I hope that turns out, it shows up okay. I know the lights are kind of reflective on my acrylics. Now, I did go ahead and add those ghosts that I was questioning about putting on there. I'm not sure how you watched, whether it was in the speed fast forward version or if it was in the full length version. I did go ahead and add this pumpkin and these two. I just couldn't decide whether or not it was finished. It just felt like it wasn't. And so I went ahead and added the ghosts and this little pumpkin out here just to kind of help move the eye around. So hopefully he shows up nicely and the camera is not too reflective on it, but that's how it turned out. I think he's really cute, and again, with everything that's going on around here, this was some awesome art therapy for me, and I hope you guys do something good for you. Art is so wonderful, it is so relaxing, and um, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to take you kind of away from the world for a little while, and that's what this painting did for me. It's not a masterpiece. It's not going to wind up in some museum or anything like that one day, but it sure did put a smile on my face, and hopefully when I share it with some of my friends and family, it will put a smile on their face too. I hope you guys have fun. If you have any questions, let me know. You are, of course, welcome to like, share, and subscribe. Go check out the website over on don'tforgettheart.com. Let me know if you have any questions there or on the Facebook page. I will be happy to help you where I can. Everyone, take care of yourself. Happy arting.